So if you don't know the answer, your group, somebody in your group probably has the answer. And then that person will bring back what you learned, okay? So, I'm not gonna put questions. So, to go ahead with your group, talk about the attention signal that you use in your class with your group. So we can practice. Go.
I use five for to get their attention. They raise their hand. I do the clapping.
The roster that you requested?
I gotta go now.
Is that Perez?
This is Maya and Chris.
A copy for her too.
Hodges.
Five.
So at this
Both of
point,
y'all.
I'm gonna reteach. And I think this may be the first time that this has happened in the 2 weeks that I've been teaching champs. Remember that my attention signal, when I need your attention, I'm gonna say Hodges, and you're gonna reply class, so I know that I have your attention. And I think the question was why you need an attention signal and how you use your attention signal, right? So let's practice one more time. Hodges.
Class.
Hodges.
Class.
Wow, I felt it over here. Good job, good job. Okay, so table one, tell me what you do for attention, or what y'all do for attention signals and how to use it and how it
Oh,
works.
I use a countdown and I start, 5, 4, 3, 2, and they say 1, and then they have to move their hands like, not like this, because they can hit someone, but right here low, and, they all have to do it at the same time.
And see, I would have almost told y'all that I don't suggest a countdown, because when you get to 1, they're still running around. But what she just showed is that when they get to 1, there's something that's demanded of them to let the teacher know that she has our attention. That's beautiful, beautiful. Table 2, what did y'all come up with?
We do, the clap method.
Don't record them, because we have one person hiding from somebody. Go ahead.
We do the clap method, I also do the numbers, but I do them like, give me 5, and I go 5, and I say, give me 4, and it grabs their attention, cause they know they have to count down with me.
Okay.
And then when we get to 1, everybody's usually quiet. By the time I get to 3, they're usually all looking at me. And then if I get down to 1 that knows, somebody else is still not paying attention. 'Cause if I go to 3 and everybody pays attention, I
So
can
they're
stop.
saying, when you say 5, they're saying 5?
Yes,
Okay, so they are responding to
They're
you.
responding.
Okay. Good job, good job. And so that's what I've learned, and I've observed lots of classes over the years. If somebody just says 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we still got kids running around. You know, when I say Hodges and you say class, there's that split second in there that I can say, hey, this is a real lockdown, I need you to lock down. Or maybe I have a group of high school students, and for some reason, and this has happened, the heater or AC is out upstairs, so we're all meeting in the gym. How am I gonna find my students? When I say Hodges, they are trained to know class, Hodges, class, and then I can get their attention and say, okay, y'all, let's go with me. So you want there to be a response, so you know that you got their attention. Have you thought about the military on the military shows? 1, 2, 1, they have like the responses. It builds a sense of unity in your class. Everybody's doing the same thing. Everybody feels included. And so these are the things that you're gonna be held responsible for today. So with anything that you're implementing in your classroom, you have to teach the expectation for it. And you cannot just do it once and expect. As educators, and it should be probably across the country, we do expect you to spend the first 2 weeks teaching your rules and expectations. Because it takes about that long for them to catch on. You're not losing anything in education, because if you have people yelling over here, you're losing instruction anyway. So you're gonna have an expectation for everything. And in elementary, I wanna stop, reteach, and let your other students model what you need. For instance, our library over here. I'm gonna have an expectation for how we go to use the library. So chances are, if they finish their work at the table and they're going over to the library, there's gonna be a conversation, and so chance is defined with conversation, help, activity, movement, participation. You're gonna define how you want that to look for every single activity in your room. So for reading books, do y'all know voice levels? If you don't, I can go over them real quick. It's okay if you don't, because if you're a new teacher, you may not know. Okay, so a 0, what do you think a 0 would be? No talking, right? A 1, what do you think a 1's gonna be? Very good, very good over here, very good over here. Okay, so, a 3. Probably medium. Probably maybe like this, maybe like this.
I think a 3 is a little bit higher.
You think it's a little bit higher? You're gonna define it for your room.
I don't
And it's
know.
good to have it good, across something like that, you kinda do wanna have it across the board. So right now, I'm more at a 4, I'm pretty loud. And at 5, what do you think a 5 is gonna be? Outside, just, yeah! And every now and then, I will give the students that opportunity, if they've earned it, we're gonna make Ms. Gonzalez mad next door. I'm gonna give you 10 seconds to go 5. Ms. Gonzalez gonna get mad, but you just go crazy, and they love it because they earned just to go 5 for just, probably not 10 seconds, but just a couple of seconds. Don't tell them I told you that, don't do that. So I'm gonna define what it looks like to be over there in the library. So what do you think the voice level should be at the library?
0 or 1?
0, 0 or 1, okay? And there's not a right or wrong answer, because in my class, the library is gonna be 0. Because chances are, if you have a free library time, I'm doing a small group over here, and there's some groups going over here. Now, so there on that wall, I'm gonna champ it out. So the conversation over there, I'd probably have a 0, so they know the visuals to help those students. If I need help over there, I'm gonna define that. What help may look like over there. Somebody define what help looks like here at the table. They're having an open conversation. If they have help, if they need help over there, that library center, do I want them running up to my table that I'm teaching a small group? Well, they don't know that. They don't know that unless I teach them and we practice it. So you figure out the structure for everything that you do in your classroom, and you teach it. Chances about being proactive, right? So for our mini lessons or reading time, I'm gonna define what it looks like over here, right? Because there's probably gonna be some turn and talk, maybe here. So that's probably gonna be at a 1, while I'm walking around listening, or if they're giving me feedback, probably all the students will be over here. So when you're here, I'm gonna define it on what it may look like. You may not wanna put the whole champs over here, but you may wanna put something to symbolize that when you're sitting here, you're at a 1. So all you have to do is just point, say here. We're at a 1, where you could just point at the number on the wall. And so you want to define how they walk into the room. So if, your students, don't know, or they're forgetting to pick up a pencil when they go to their desk, then you need to put a routine, and could you sit with another group, pretty please? Thank you. You want to define how you want them to walk into the classroom. You're gonna practice it, you're gonna show them, you're going to give them verbal praise when they got it, if that costs you nothing, does it? To tell them a good job. Because a child that's attention seeking, and that's craving attention, is gonna get attention, but we want it to be positive attention, right? We wanna increase those behaviors that we like. So, remember, conversation, help needs to be defined. Over here, if I need help, if I'm sitting on the curb, I may raise my hand. Over here, if I need help, I might be able to ask a friend, what is this word? At a voice on the one, right? But they don't know if you don't teach them. So you wanna teach them how. A well-structured classroom, a teacher that has taught them how to move around their classroom doesn't even need teacher's directive. All they need is a timer for how long they'll be at that station. And they can set that timer goes up, those students know to pick up their books, go put their composition down, go on to the next station. Or you don't have to for years. I didn't, after the first couple of weeks of school, they knew what to do. And then if something was off, or maybe, sometimes you have to reteach some stuff, that's okay. You have to readjust it to make it work for everybody, right? That's okay. You're just gonna readjust it, but you're gonna teach it. If you're gonna change something, you're gonna teach it. And so that's one of the biggest pieces with Champs is you're gonna teach the expectations. These are just different things that people have made and how they champ. A lot of times, a teacher will have just one of these, and but if you've walked in the hallway, y'all probably have Champs walking down the hallway, right? So if you're self-contained and you co-teacher or whatever, you want to take your students in the hallway and teach them what those signs mean. You want to teach them how to stand in line for water. You want to practice it, and then you want to evaluate them on it. How good of a job did they do? Let them know. And let me tell you, little Johnny that may not be doing it quite right, when you start saying, hey Sarah, good job, hey Jonathan, good job, and Johnny gets it, you immediately give that verb. You don't withhold it. You immediately give them that affirmation that they're on track, that they got it. Where it says Skinner down there at the bottom, I got those from Dr. Skinner, our Deputy Superintendent. These are just some different chants. Okay, so your guidelines to success. These are guidelines that your school has adopted. This is what you said for our school to function properly. We as a school have decided this. But sometimes we get these from our counselors or from our principals. We throw them up on the wall, but we have not taught them, right? So anything you have on the wall, you have to teach an expectation on how do you use it. Okay, so be responsible. I want you to talk in a group together about how you would teach that to your students. And then I'll call you back and another person will share. Go. hearing great conversations out there, great conversations. It didn't cost me anything, see how well you're doing. Hodges,
Class,
Hodges,
Class.
Hodges,
Class.
good job. Table 2, tell me what you came up with.
Maybe giving them a job, in the class, she had said she used table monitors, we could do line leaders, stuff like that. Assign them a job and explain what the roles are, and also teaching them how to clean up after themselves after they do centers and different activities in the class.
Okay, table 2, wonderful job, each one of you get a sticker on the chart. Now, that may cost you something. So, but to say that you did a great job, does it cost you anything? So you do wanna come up with some type of incentive. Maybe, hey, you can't afford stickers, but you can print out some little stickers charts still, and maybe the students put a star. They draw a star when you say give yourself a reward, or, dots. And sometimes your school secretary may have a little stash or something, you gotta get them before other people do. And, to do that, so you want to reward, and where you have high behaviors, you wanna reward high. But do you have to do it all the time? No, because they wane off of it. Table 1, what did y'all come up with? Who was next?
I was gonna, about being responsible.
Okay, no, but I was.
Did you share the last time?
No,
Okay,
she
good.
was, okay,
Okay.
yes, you need to, okay. But I try with the student, like, to be respectful, if you can be fair and try like if you want to be quiet. We try to do that.
Hey, good job. Okay, so remember, the way I've structured my classroom participation, we got that conversation, health, activity, movement, participation. The way I've structured that participation is that I want everybody to share. Nobody shares, until everybody has shared. That's how I structured that, and that's how I would teach that, and that's how I would practice that, right, with the students, so they know and they understand. And so you said some great things. These are your guidelines. You should have these posted in your classroom. Your counselors may have a copy of these. If these are the ones that you've adopted, I gave some to schools as examples. But you want these posted, they'll be posted, whatever your guidelines are, they'll be posted around the school. But they're also gonna be posted in your classroom, so you're gonna teach what they need, so they have an understanding of what you're expecting. Now, not only are you gonna have the guidelines, you're gonna have your classroom rules. You're gonna have 3 to 5. Everybody repeat after me. No more than 5.
No more than 5.
Do not have more than 5 classroom rules. If you do, just sadly take them down. Take them 3 to 5. And in the chance holder, if you want me to share it with you, there's some examples of rules. Elementary, you always want to say, keep your hands, feet, and objects to yourself. Your classroom rules are different than your guidelines for success. The guidelines are what your whole school has said, for us to be successful, we're gonna do this. As a teacher, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna be respectful to you, and you're gonna be respectful to me, okay? But then you're gonna have your classroom rules, right? And when I worked in SPED, I had rules for everywhere, but they were in those chants with the pictures, And, okay, so here are some myths. So I do want to talk to your group about myths that teachers say sometimes and how it's busted, okay? My favorite one was, I should not have to repeat myself. And that myth is busted, okay? Go ahead and go in your group and talk, go. Pick your favorite ones and talk about them.
I have to correct myself. I'm starting to do that as a parent. I shouldn't have to repeat myself.
Why do I have to repeat myself? Come on. Hodges,
Class.
Hodges,
Class.
Okay, so as adults, did you get my attention signal right away? Did it become
No.
automatic?
No.
Okay, so we just busted one of these.
Mm.
We really did. We just busted mine because we don't get it. And so the routines, rules, and procedures that we put in place have to be practiced. So they have to be really hit at the beginning of the school year. Then you're manicuring, we have to, don't we? And you know, my 50-year-old, 51-year-old mind, you gotta, if I haven't taken notes, if I haven't, you're gonna have to repeat yourself, right? Hodges,
Class.
Hodges,
Class.
Hodges.
Class.
Table 2, what just happened when a new person came to your group?
She started repeating our behavior.
Yeah, she looked for us, like, what we doing?
But did she not catch on? She caught on just like that. And so that's part of that well-oiled machine. When others, new people come, they fall in line, right? And what I should have said was, good job, nobody even had to tell you what to do. Now, by the time you get 5 new students, you need to reteach it. Because that new student, depending on the dynamics, they're probably new for a reason. So you're gonna teach them, reward them, whether it's verbally or sticker. I don't have enough time, I promise 25 minutes. If you have any questions, there's so much, but remember to, let me go back to the takeaways. This is a week-long training I'm trying to get to y'all in 5 minutes. These are the things that you are gonna be held responsible for right now. Your attention signal. So when your administrator walks in, show them, do that practice so they can check that piece off for you. That's okay, you can set up that. Teach your expectations, your objectives on the board. As an administrator, I was trained, we are trained to go over here and say, hey, what you working on?
That objective on the board up there?
Exactly. So you teach them, don't expect them to look up there and see it. You're using that during your lesson, but you're also gonna teach them how to look at the board and see what you're working on. No student should ever say in their classroom, I don't know what we're working on. Why? Anybody? It's a free one.
We've trained them.
Give yourself a sticker. Because you train them at 3rd grade, they can probably read your objective. You train them to look at that board and to say what they're working on. So if they're running late and they come in, they know what you're working on because you've taught them how to look and check it out. Not just that, you're repeating that objective during that lesson, right? Greeting at the door. This is how you check the temperature of your students. When you're in high school and you have 40 kids times 7, you don't have time to build a relationship with them, but greeting them at the door could be y'all's thing. However that may look. See, now that's my thing. That's how we're gonna greet. And if for some reason, one morning, I hold my fist out and she walks past me and doesn't do that, I just had a little bit of information that she may need to be checked up on, right? Not only can you check the temperature of all your students, they will check your temperature. They know on how you greet them at the door, they'll know what's going on with you. Whether you're okay or whether you're not. And they'll worry about you, and if you were grouchy, they'll tell coach, something was wrong with this. And when I remember when we did conscious discipline in Pasadena, the kids were talking about their teacher. I guess she was yelling that day. They were like, she needs to do the bubble and breathe. They were talking to each other, trying to figure it out for her. Okay, so I said in the randomized selection, y'all might call this something else in 7 steps. So that greet at the door is mandatory. Figure out how they want to be greeted or how you're gonna greet. It's you. Greet them. You may be the only smile they receive ever. Okay? Now I have to go into a story. that randomized selection, figure out how you wanna learn to call your students. That way everybody learns to speak, everybody learns to learn, but they're helping each other. Thank you, have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Are you gonna send